There's something interesting happening. You're sort of doing the, they call it pain, but I'm out of step with the unified fields. Let's put in a metaphor. Well, I was thinking something. So I wonder if you want me to share that. I mean, I wonder because look, the persons like me, remember, but you don't hear from persons like me. There are many others. There's sort of in that, like sort of subculture of people who think, in um one of the things is that the whole notion of people of individuals like who've come over the border between Mexico and the United States, that who've come over here, and are in the country and are working or something, okay, that and now remember this Dream Act, that's about their kids who may be going just like a public school, getting a scholarship to college, okay. Many of them are serving in our military, but they don't have official citizenship. The idea that that they're sort of like illegal in the sense of having like their law, they're outside the law, like that you should take a position of like punishing such things, that like to persons like me is actually an ideological construct. The truth of the matter is that when NAFTA was passed, you see, when you're going to pass, see, when the federal government like passes large scale economic, remember, we could be a trade bloc with Mexico and Canada in any number of ways. The agreements were written up by certain sectors of the society that designed what that trade agreement was. It doesn't resemble creating a trade bloc. It happens to be designed in the interest of narrow sectors who, not surprisingly, benefit from the policies they instituted, but it has a natural effect. That is, it is the idea that many people are coming over the border, sneaking into the country and seeking work and getting work in the country, and maybe even living here so long that they have, they're working as nannies or they're working in a bunch of different things, and they even have kids that are like going to public school. The idea that they're like sort of breaking the law, like need to be dealt with, is an ideological construct to a lot of people. The reason being this: I don't know why there's pain. You put me as much pain as you want about this one. I don't care. What's happened is when they put those trade agreements into place, then one of the natural results. By the way, they're fully aware of the natural results because right after NAFTA was passed, immediately they also had ready a massive crime bill. Why was that? If you're going to create social disintegration in America, you have to police it. There's going to be people, when the natural effect is, broken families and people desperate and turning to crime, and people. I mean, it has a social disintegration effect when you pass a policy like that. But that was taken care of with a massive anti-crime bill that harsher punishments and and also the laws became like against the law to be a member of a street gang in some places. But that's because they know the natural effect of those policies. Okay, one of the other natural, that's the effect of the policy when you put thousands of farmers into starvation, okay, and make the water undrinkable, and thousands of people are like millions of people like they are actually about to starve from the policies you've created, and they've created them, and what's causing the starvation isn't like the natural forces of the market, but it's a state subsidized sector that operates transnationally. That's who the trade agreements were designed to benefit, okay, and you go and you destroy people in Mexico to the point where they and their families are starving because of what they've done. Well, the natural effect is they'll come over, they'll do whatever, they'll take incredible risks to get over the border into our country because here at least they won't starve. They have another option, which is to attempt to go and find people who are put out of work by that, who are like growers agricultural products. Well, one option we know is like they can go into the hills and start growing something for which there's a stable market, but it's in the underground, like cocoa and things for cocaine. That's not really a good thing to do, but they're dealt with anyway. It's why we have military bases there. They're fumigated and die because of that. So there's no other option. Naturally, passing those trade agreements meant there'd be a massive influx of desperate people coming into our country. The borders are, they're artificial too. I mean, they're coming into the place where they can find work. Okay, so the idea that these are like sort of like a criminal class that has to be like located, harassed, and deported is actually like not part of reality. When those trade agreements were passed, naturally it was known there'll be a massive influx over the border from people who are desperate coming into our country because that's the only thing to do. Just like when they had to pass a crime bill because they knew all kinds of people would be turning to crime who are American citizens but have no other choice because they're desperate. Okay, so the fact that the influx of people from Mexico, the fact that they don't have citizenship, but it was a natural they should have a path to citizenship. It was created by those policies. What they knew that would happen. That's the fault of the kind of policies. We could have been a trade bloc with Mexico and Canada any which way we wanted. It turned out to be something that only has to do with North America, but narrow sectors in North America that may be based here, but either are operating transnationally and are massively state subsidized, meaning they're not like normal businesses. So they created a situation from the government put in place policies that have the status of a treaty that cause people to flee over the border here. The idea that there shouldn't be an immediate path to citizenship, immediately be able to give a green card to people who are second generation, that's actually like just part of that just makes sense. The idea that it's some kind of like lawless thing that's happening, well, they knew that would happen. Of course it would happen. What are people going to do? Come over to where they're not going to starve. So right off the bat, I mean, that's what I was thinking when you induce pain. Are you inducing pain because you want me to say that? Yeah, I mean, the whole idea that it's some kind of criminal class of people is ideological. It's not necessarily real that that's the way to look at such people. How about that? When you put me in pain when I'm trying to go to bed, I'm going to take a shot at like trying to like see what it's about. If it's about what I'm thinking, that's what I was thinking. I didn't think you'd want me to share something like that.